Hey there, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Katie and this is Louisiana Cooking and Living, and today we are doing something super exciting. We have been wanting to invest in, it's kind of funny to say invest, to purchase fresh beef, and we have a friend from church who lives on kind of on the other side of the state from us, and they raise beef, and we are purchasing or have purchased a steer, I think it is, from actually his nephew, and it's half Wagyu, half Angus, and we are headed to the butcher to pick up our beef. So I thought we would take you along to see what all you get if you purchase your side of beef. We actually purchased this cow with some friends. We are getting half of the cow, and they are splitting the other half. And we just thought we'd take you along. So we are stopping at this neat little Boudin store on the way. We got to get some gas, and we're going to go in and get some Boudin and cracklins. I've cooked a few recipes for you guys with Boudin, so I'll just take you along inside the store real quick, and we'll see what they have to offer, and then we will get on to the butcher and see what we get to get. So the name of the store we are at is Billy's Boudin and Cracklins, and these are some stuffed chicken breasts. They are stuffed with boudin, stuffed with crawfish, and then stuffed with cheese and spinach. So this is like a hot deli section, and they have cracklins and fried boudin balls and pepper jack stuffed boudin balls and all kinds of little things. And here coming up is a crawfish pistolette. They actually put like crawfish étouffée inside of a pistolette roll and then fry that. So yummy. And this boudin stuffed bread looked really good. I'm gonna have to try this at some point. Did not buy it today. And this is funny, at the checkout they have crackers and different toppings for your boudin. And here is our link of boudin we got. This is a smoked link, and they went on and cut it in half so it's easier to eat. And there you can see the rice and the meat, the rice dressing inside that casing. Let me see. So this is my husband's treat. He likes to get the boudin balls that are stuffed with the pepper jack cheese. So he's got one of those for him. And then my little treat here is the chicken cracklins. Usually you see pork cracklins. These are chicken. It's the skin with a little bit of the meat still on it, fried super crispy with lots of seasonings on it. Just so yummy. And this is the butcher or slaughterhouse. And we're going to be loading up this is our nice chest of ground meat. And I'll go over the numbers in a little while of what we actually got. And like I said, we divided up this cow. We got half, and then my friends split the other half. So this is one of my friend's ice chests. And this is a third of that other half. They split it 3 days. So this is all the meat, and lots of meat, all the different cuts there. She got her ice chest. And here we are driving back over the Atchafalaya Basin. Just wanted to show you some of the swampy area. I just love driving over this and seeing the swamps in Louisiana. Crossing the Mississippi River. This big old bridge. This is driving into Baton Rouge. You can see across the way, that's downtown Baton Rouge with the state capitol building and this massive structure here going across the river. And if you can see in the distance, that is Tiger Stadium, where LSU Tigers play football. So we are back now, and we are unloading all this into the freezer, the brand new freezer like I told you. It's kind of funny, the freezer came dented and we're actually having to wait for a replacement. but we had to go ahead and fill this up, and then we'll just have to move it all over when the new freezer comes. But this is all the ground meat going here in the bottom, and I'll go over the numbers in a minute of everything we got. But this whole bottom section is full of ground meat. We chose to do 1 pound packs of the ground meat. You could have chosen 2 pounds or the 1 pound. So that was all that. And now here's all of our cuts, and we're going through, and I'm separating the different cuts into different sections, and my husband's kind of keeping a tally of everything we got there. I kind of noticing as I'm watching this back, my the dog is back there in the background and has something kind of cornered there in the shop, and he's working, trying to get to that. So just unloading all this, and here's about to pull out these bags of bones. We got, I think, 5 bags of the bones there. Gonna make some bone broth for that. But that's it. So this is a 20 cubic foot freezer, and this will show you kind of how we filled it up. We were able to purchase half a cow, and I kind of wanted to explain the process on how we did this in case you're interested in ever doing this. So our cow, and I think if I have a picture, I'll insert it right here. Was half Angus, half Wagyu beef, and some friends from church has a nephew that raised this cow. We were able to purchase it from him, and it was brought to the slaughterhouse, and we were recommended to let it age for 21 days. And in the meantime, we had to call the slaughterhouse and kind of go over what cuts we wanted. And because this was the first time we had done this, we weren't really sure what we wanted, and they were super helpful on how to go through the process. And the name, if you're in Louisiana, is called Coastal Plains Meat Company. They are in Eunice, Louisiana. It's just barely north and west of Lafayette. It's about 2 hours from us, so we did have to drive 2 hours to pick this meat up. And they sent us this little cut sheet, and we weren't really sure really how we wanted things done. We weren't sure like how many cuts would come on the certain areas. We knew we wanted a lot of ground meat, a lot of steaks, a lot of chuck roast, like certain cuts we knew we wanted, but we weren't sure all the little details of different things on how they did. So they were super helpful. And so what I did was I went through and I wrote on the back of my paper the different cuts that they had, and if they came ground meat, or you could get it like the shank, you can get it either ground or you can get it as a soup round, which I chose to get those as soup rounds because I want to braise them and try that. Sounds super delicious. The neck, ground or stew, cut up in stew cubes. We did that as ground meat. The chuck roast. So the chuck roast comes ground, steaks, or roasts. And I knew I wanted chuck roast, but and I've always done like a steak and gravy, and I knew I used chuck roast or chuck steaks for that. But somebody that's from over in that area said, you need to get 7 steaks. And we weren't sure really what cut. And this is where the butcher was super helpful with us. A 7 steak is actually a chuck steak. And I'd always seen it at the grocery store called a chuck steak. The shoulder, the ribeye you could get boneless or bone in if you wanted the steaks. Then if you got bone in, you didn't necessarily get the ribs that you could barbecue, smoke, roast, whatever. But we chose to get the ribeye boneless so that we could have the ribs as a separate meal. The brisket, of course, the T-bones. Now the T-bones are a New York strip with the bone in the middle, and then the fillet. We wanted the fillet steaks, and the New York strip, which next time I think I will get those as a steak. We had those just put into the ground meat. We ended up with 90 pounds of ground meat. I think that's quite a bit if we're doing this. We're thinking probably once a year. I think 90 pounds of ground meat is quite a bit of ground meat for us for a year. So I think, this is the first time doing this. It was a process, and we are extremely happy with what we got, but we will learn and go forward and know what we want to get differently. The sirloin. I'm not a fan of sirloin steaks. I feel like they're a little tough. So those went into ground meat for us. The round I think I got those as steaks. I'm not sure what I did with the round. Pikes Peak, I don't even know what a Pikes Peak is. So that probably went to ground meat also. The rump roast ground meat. I'm not a fan of making a rump roast. I feel like if you don't do it right, they're kind of dry. And I like like a chuck roast where it's all falling apart and so juicy and tender. Definitely kept the flank and the skirt steak. We asked for the beef cheeks. There is a dish in Mexican cooking barbacoa, and you use the beef cheeks to make that. And this slaughterhouse does not cut the cheeks off. I think they sell the head separately, so they did not offer the cheeks. We also got all the bones to make broth, so that will be coming up soon about roasting the bones and making the broth and canning that. I love to can. If you haven't been watching my videos, I do love canning. I have a lot of canning videos. Let's see, the tallow. So because this was a grass-fed, grass-finished cow, therefore it was very low in fat. It was a very lean cow. Even though it was Wagyu species, which is typically known for their fat and marbling, because this cow was not grain finished, it didn't have a lot of fat on it. So even if you have a grass-fed cow, if they finish it off on grain, that puts a lot of extra fat in the muscle tissue. So this cow did not have that because it was grass-fed, grass-finished. So there wasn't really a lot of tallow really to be had. Now I did a video a couple of months ago of rendering down some tallow that we had, when we had gotten some 4 briskets and we had cleaned the fat off of it. I rendered down that fat and made some tallow to use in my cooking. And I was really surprised how little tallow, but also, I'm not sure if they didn't put some of that into the ground meat. I don't know that question. They could have, because it was a lean cow, thrown some of that fat into the ground meat in order to give it a higher percentage of fat in the finished product. Like I said, we were super excited. We did half the cow, and then we had a couple of friends that bought the other half, but we actually picked it all up together. So these coolers you're gonna see here, we filled up, it was an F-150 truck, and I don't know if it's an extended bed, but we filled up the whole bed with meat. We were really surprised at how much meat it was. And so what we ended up with was 4 chuck roasts, 3 ribeye, and I haven't even gone back and looked yet. This has been a couple of days ago, and we actually went out of town, so I haven't even looked really at the meat, because if you notice, the packaging was, one side was black. And that was what the label was. And so I was just reading the label, putting it into the freezer, and the other side was clear. So I'm not even sure how many roasts or how many steaks are in each package. And the way they did it was we could even tell them how thick we wanted the steaks cut. I think I asked them to cut them 1 inch thick. But we got 3 packs of ribeye steaks, and I think I told them I wanted 4 steaks in a pack. I don't remember. There's only 1 flank steak per side of beef. We got 4 packs of round steak, 3 packs of tenderloin steaks, 3 packs of ribs, 3 packs of skirt steak. If you've never had skirt steak, it is a lot like flank steak. It's a very good marinated, throw it on the grill real quick. You cut it against the grain, and it makes it very tender, and it's good eating like a fajita, or even just like eating a steak. It's not the same as a ribeye or tenderloin or whatever, it's different, but it's kind of like what you would get carne asada at a Mexican restaurant. We got 3 packs of the 7 steaks, or the chuck steaks, 1 brisket per side. We ended up with 5 bags of bones, so I was really happy about that, and 1 little bag of tallow, like I said. So we were really happy about this. Now for the numbers, to break it down, The initial cost was we paid for the actual cow from the rancher, and that was a big cost. But I was thinking that we would pay almost that same amount again to the slaughterhouse to actually have this processed, cut, packaged, everything. But the cost to them was very low. We ended up paying only $5.60 a pound for all this meat. So whether it was the ribeyes, the fillets, the brisket, these things can cost like $20 a pound at the grocery store. And to get grass-fed, grass-finished beef at the grocery store, you're paying $6, $7, $8, $9 a pound for that. So we paid $5.60 a pound total across the board for all this meat. So we were extremely happy for this. I think it ended up being like 526 pounds of meat we ended up getting. And like I said, 90 pounds of that is the ground meat. We had them put it in 1 pound packs. You could get 1 pound packs or 2 pound packs. And I thought if I ever needed 2 pounds, I could just take 2 of them out. If not, I just want 1. So I thought that was the more versatile way to go. We did have to buy the new freezer also, but that was just an initial cost for us. Some people already have freezers, so it wouldn't be a big deal, but we didn't have enough freezer space to do all this. So that was an initial cost, but that's a one-time price. So we are extremely happy for this. We haven't actually been able to cook any of this yet because, like I said, we went immediately out of town and we just got back. So we haven't been able to taste it yet, but I have, if you've watched my meatball video, which I can link that here above, I did buy grass-fed, grass-finished beef, ground beef at Costco. They are newly carrying that, and I made meatballs with that, and it tasted great. It doesn't taste anything different. I feel like it has a little bit of a different texture, but only because it has less fat, I think is why. So we are extremely happy. We will probably do this once a year. I told my husband, I said, I think I need to do a hog now. So we're gonna be doing that, and we need to go ahead and process, what is the word people are using now for chicken? I don't know what you call it. There's a word that people are using now to be more humane in the way they say it. But we have 4 of the chickens that we had gotten as chicks back in March that we bought. I think it was the Jersey Giant breed in order to process those. So we need to do those 4. I'm not sure how much I can show that in a video, but I'll try and video a little bit of that so that anybody else is interested, because I've never done it and I'd like to see videos on the process just to help me along. So hopefully we can show a little bit of that video, but we are excited about being able to acquire these meats that are much more healthy for you, and know actually where they came from and who raised them. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. If you have any questions on the process that maybe something I didn't cover, if you want to leave a comment in the box below, and I can answer those questions, or if you have tips for me on maybe a cut of meat that I should have gotten, or I don't know. The unknown is something you don't know, right? So I may not know what I need to ask, or going forward something else. So I did learn maybe I want to get more New York strips, those kind of things. There's a few cuts I would have done differently now that I know, but we are extremely happy with what we got. So thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed and you want to follow along as we do these different processes and buying different meats, canning, gardening, chickens, cooking, mostly cooking we do around here. That's why it's cooking and living. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.